We're going to follow on from our popular LinkedIn post of the other day. So this is really a follow-on session in relation to the stuff you've been doing with Switch, what you've been showing on the webinars with those guys recently.
More workflow with Murphy, eh?
More workflow with Murphy.
There should be a YouTube channel or something. What do you reckon?
This could be the start of this, John.
This is it.
Could be the start of it.
More workflow with Murphy.
So I think in this session you wanted to show me the PDF review and approving a job, right? Which could be a CSR or a customer. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. So I'm a really big fan of the PDF review module. I work with a lot of vendors who have got remote approval systems, and you come across a lot of customers who've got a handful of customers that are signed up to it. Actually, there's no middle ground. You either end up with a handful of customers, 5 or 6 people, not as many as you'd like, or everybody's on board. Everybody's on board. There's very rarely do you get middle ground, and I think a lot of this is down to the fact that I think it's quite natural for customers to really want to get involved with remote approval. I think it's human nature. I think there's a lot of fear involved. So any complexity to add to it gives an opportunity for people to just opt out.
Sure.
It's too complicated. So what I really love about the PDF review module is actually it's
the simplicity.
It's all you need is an email and a web browser. So there's no passwords, there's no logging in, there's no account configuration or anything like that. So it's really simple, really stress-free. And even if you can't get the customer to buy into it, you still want the workflow to be the same, because you still will get customers who will go, yeah, I've had a look at that proof, it's great. Yeah, go ahead. And go, well, can you click the button, please? Well, I'm in the car now, and all this, and then all of a sudden, you haven't got a workflow. So, I think this covers all the bases. I think it's great. I think it's a really super product. So if we go back to the workflow that we were using in our first presentation, where we went through the pre-flighting phase and getting the content. What then happens is we've now got a more complicated workflow. So the very first thing that's done, as you would expect, is it goes in and looks at the metadata within our system, picks up the email and submits that to the customer. So they'll be receiving an email right now, but you'll also see that I've got tons of database interactions in it, lots of SQL stuff coming backwards and forwards. So we will really interact with Tharstern on this level. We're going to create events. We're going to update milestones. We're going to update all of these things. So at the root level of our job, because the email has been sent, the milestone of that job and the current operation is both set to proofing started. So that's been updated at the database level. Not only that, at the database level, Switch has actually written back to us the URL to where that PDF approval file exists. So what we can do is then create a web page within the job. So my customer doesn't want to click the OK button. So I can actually run the web page in here, launch it on their behalf, go down, talk about whatever pages they want, make an annotation or a comment or anything to that particular job.
Okay. Or simply prove it.
Yeah. So, but in this case, I'm going to show you a comment, so this is the wrong bird. I'll send you a new file. So this sort of communication is exactly what you need. You need to know how many approval steps there are. So that first job there will just get rejected, and we'll see that. The second job, if I close it, open it up, what we should see is that is still in an approval sent status. Come into in this one, and as you say, this one we can just go in, grab the web page, and basically approve the pages on behalf. So if you remember, this is the one in our previous podcast or whatever it was. We switched it to a landscape page instead of 6 individual pages. So great thing about it is the PDF review module just kills the link, so it's secure. If you look here at the root level of the jobs, you can see that one proof has been rejected. So if we open it up and have a look at it, so in Tharstern we have the concept of events. So I'll just talk about them. So the events are tasks that need to be performed and deadlines that need to be met, minor ones to ensure that the major ones have met. So we basically, in here I have 2 proofing events that have been dynamically created. So the first one is the rejected proof and the second one is the reproof, which have come in, which has obviously all been done at the database level. So if you come into here, we can have a look at this event, open it up, and we can see that the proof was sent at 10:44 in the middle in the morning. You can see it was 10:44. It was sent. Switch remote approval. That's how it was sent to them. And then at 11:08, the proof was rejected. You can see it down here. It's come back with a no on it. So that obviously is stored in Tharstern, and we also get access to that annotated PDF file that came from the system. So here you can see, here's the comment that was made by that person. So you have all that information dynamically at your fingerprints. I mean, to do that manually, copying people in and forward them on, that's probably a 20-minute job, I would have thought. So, but this has all been dealt with absolutely on its own.
It's potentially a huge time saver, John, there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's often the little things, Lee, when you have a look at them. Yeah, it's often the little things that you see that make that enormous difference.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah. So, so this one obviously has only got a single proofing event in it. That obviously we know it was sent at 10:44, and then at 11:08, you can see that actually that one's been okayed. So then when it's sent down into the pre-press workflow, they're now dealing with pages that have been intelligently pre-flighted and with artwork that matches the intent, along with the fact that they've already been approved. So actually we can start really thinking about, in whatever workflow we've got, actually offering and delivering any automation downstream, because you know you're dealing with stuff that you can trust.
What I like about that, John, is it is automating, well, not automating, but it's actually bringing the customer or the CSR into the proofing process. But you're not sacrificing any of the data coming back to the job in terms of the audit trail of how many events it's gone through, you know, what corrections were needed, when it got approved, what pages got approved. That's just all happening as a matter of course, isn't it? Really,
it's a classic case of the production and the administrative data being intertwined through the spine. Yeah. Okay. So often you know, if you're using a manual system, you're trying to catch up all the time with the statement retrospectively. But if you can combine the two into a single transaction, which is what this does beautifully, then it's optimal. You know, there's no better way of doing it, in my opinion.
Good. Thanks for sharing that, John.
Well, welcome.
And look forward to the next one.
Murphy's workflow website, or whatever it's called. I can't remember now.
Cheers, John.
Thank you, Lee.
Bye-bye.
Bye.